CP3 and the Los Angeles Clippers? Should it be the New York Knicks with Carmelo Anthony? Or could it be Danny Ainge and the Boston Celtics? It's a lot to talk about with this NBA trading deadline. There's also Magic Johnson to talk about, not for the greatest reasons in the world. And, of course, somebody's gotten on my nerves by bringing up the Cowboys. First Take up next.
First Take is presented by Bass Pro Shops.
Let's get it cracking. Let's start the session. March lift the competition, balls by that action. You can never debate it. This is actual fact. Stephen A. and Max Kale said they say it's a rap. I'm like, say what? Say what? What's up with all my haters? I'm a ball when I perform. So my jersey's in the air. I'm allergic to my haters. Every morning I prepare. Lot of clothes I can wear just like them Oregon players. Yeah, quack, quack. What it do? Rap like it's nothing to it. Matter of fact, you can ask hard and I'm cooking too. Base dog cooking too. Nah, look at you. Great mind. They embrace mine like a crooked tooth. 4 takes, that's you. 3 takes, not me. 2 takes if you lucky. First take, stop me. 4 takes, that's you. 3 takes, not me. 2 takes if you lucky. First take, got me.
It's trade deadline day. Who will go and who will stay? Yes, welcome to First Take on this Friday Eve. Max and Molly holding things down in Bristol. Hello, Max. Stephen A. in good spirits. How we doing?
I would like to say something
Okay.
for a quick second, Max Kellerman, Molly Kieran. Let me tell y'all something. Today is one of my favorite days of the year when it comes to being on First Take, because it is an absolute nightmare for beat writers to cover today because they have to chase these stories. But since, you know, I've elevated my stature in the world of television, I don't have to do such things anymore, which makes me feel very, very sorry and sympathetic to my brethren, those beat writers out there, but very, very fortunate and blessed for myself.
Isn't that amazing? Like, everyone has to chase down sources, right? Yeah. Until you have a platform that's big enough, and then the sources chase you down. Stephen A. Smith, the phone doesn't stop with the text all throughout the show.
That would be true.
The hard work has paid off, as we know. All right, gentlemen, let's start with the reigning champs, and the streets are talking. So we've heard the Kevin Love for Carmelo Anthony rumors, and now we're hearing the Rockets have talked with the Cavs about acquiring Iman Shumpert before today's trade deadline, according to league sources. Stephen A., do the Cavs need to make a move right now to defend their crown this season?
In my opinion, I think they do. I would love for them to get a Carmelo Anthony. Listen, I like Kevin Love a lot. I think the man can play some basketball. I think he's gotten a bad rap in the past, and I got a lot of love for him, not just as a player, but as a person. But when I think about the Golden State Warriors, and I think about LeBron James and what he plays for at this stage and point of his career, which is all about the chips, to me, you've got to make a move to give yourself the best opportunity to win. You don't know how healthy J.R. Smith is going to be. You'll need him in concert with a Kyle Korver to help out Kyrie Irving in that backcourt and to help LeBron James and Kyrie Irving to spell for them, because they don't need to be the lone playmakers that you have. That is fair. But on the flip side to it as well, when you think about Kevin Love, you don't know how healthy he's going to be when he comes back. And even if healthy, as fluid as his game is and as much as it works in concert with the rest of what Cleveland tries to do as a basketball team, I just think that against Golden State, their length, their ability to defend perimeter play and beyond, when there's time to make a move, when things break down, I always bring this up, Max, when things break down, do you have that dude who can still break you down? I don't believe that they have that third guy. I think they need it in order to beat Golden State. That's the only reason I would think about making a move right now if I was Cleveland.
I mean, usually if you need that third guy, it's off the bench. Not if you have 2 guys who can do that better than anyone in your starting lineup. Usually you don't need a third. I'll say this. The Cavs are probably not going to win a championship this year no matter what they do. And by the way, Cavs fans, you can calm down. You probably weren't going to win a championship last year no matter what you did, and yet you won a championship. But that's why it was an amazing upset coming back from 3-1 against a 73-win team. This year, the 73-win team, a little less defensively without Bogut. They added Durant. They won't win as many games. They'll be even deadlier, you would think, come playoff time. So you're probably not. You're going to be the underdog, the Cavs, in the finals, no matter what. The question then becomes, how do you optimize your chances to actually win? Do they need to make a deal or not? The answer is yes. They will be more likely to beat the Warriors in the finals if they make a deal than if they don't. Then the question becomes, for whom? Stephen A., I think a Carmelo trade would actually be disastrous for them in the short run because he is a major offensive piece to integrate without a ton of time to do it. A lot of times we see a major piece come to a team and it takes them a full season to integrate. Sometimes, I know it's not an exact analogy, but like with the big three, it took them 2 years before they were fully functioning that first year they imploded against Dallas. It'll be a little different here, Carmelo joining a unit that's already otherwise integrated. But still, that's a huge piece, and you'd have to give up a lot to get him, etc. I do think they need to add someone, but I don't think it's nearly as fancy as adding Carmelo Anthony. You know what they need, Stephen A. Smith, and they've needed it all year? They need Dellavedova. They need the guy they let go. They need the guy that you complained about them not locking up long-term cheap when they had the chance. Because Dellavedova is more valuable to the Cavs than to anyone, including the Bucks or anyone else. They need that guy or a guy just like him. A point guard off the bench, a tough-minded guy who can run your offense off the bench so LeBron can rest a little bit, so Kyrie can rest a little bit, who's tough-minded with some championship pedigree. Dellavedova would be perfect. They let him go. They need to replace him.
Billy.
Max Kellerman, I can't believe that you're going to have me here on national television trying to imitate Mark McGuire, but I must. By telling you when you bring up Matthew Dellavedova, I'm not here to talk about the past. I'm not here to talk about the past. Okay? The bottom line is this, Max.
I see in your locker.
They're valid. There you go. They're valid. The points are valid, Max. But here's the part where I got you. Max. And I don't think that you've appreciated the point that you've made on many, many occasions. So work with me here with one-word answers. Who do you call the best player in the world?
LeBron James.
There we go. That's 2 words. Only one was needed.
LeBron.
Which is LeBron. You call him the best player in the world, Max, but you ignore that reality when it comes to the notion of bringing on a talent like Carmelo. You're looking at Carmelo, and I don't disagree with you if you're just looking at Carmelo. I'm looking at who Carmelo would be playing with. And when you talk about LeBron, what makes him so great? It's not just his physical prowess. It's not just his greatness in terms of his athletic ability, his finishing ability, his experience, etc. It's what he does to the troops around him, how he affects them, how he galvanizes them, how he's somehow, some way able to bring them together. And I'm saying to you, when you consider the greatness of LeBron and how much better he makes everybody else, I would ask you this question, Max, and I'll throw it to you. Could you imagine if LeBron actually made Melo better?
He would. He did. He has.
I know you would. But I'm asking you to imagine, just step back and imagine if Melo were better than we already agree we know he is. Could you imagine what that looks like?
And I think long-term, for example, next season, or had he acquired Carmelo in this preseason, I would agree with you. Because we've seen them play in the Olympics. And we've seen them play together many times, by the way. And LeBron and others on a team with stars a lot of times use Carmelo as the primary scoring option for good reason. He's the most talented overall scorer. And LeBron would likely use him that way. I think if Carmelo was on the Cavs, he'd lead the team in scoring for the number of games he played. That's over LeBron. That's over Kyrie. Even if Kevin Love's on the, whoever's there. But LeBron would use him that way. It's just not enough time to integrate that large a piece into a system that's going to go up against a well-oiled machine like Golden State.
But that's what I'm asking you. You're basically let's nip this argument in the bud once and for all. Max Kellerman, you're basically saying that the player that you believe to be the greatest in the world, who's a 3-time champion, who's been to 7 NBA Finals, whose resume is so impeccable in terms of his ability to maximize the potential around him, you're essentially saying you don't believe LeBron James can get Melo ready enough in time to help knock off Golden State this season.
Yes, that's one.
What you're saying.
That's one.
Right.
But 2, you also, in order even to make the salaries fit, have to give up someone like Tristan Thompson and minimum or Kevin Love just to make the salaries fit.
But
so
I'm talking about Kevin Love. I'm talking about the swap. I'm talking about the Kevin Love Melo swap.
Okay, then I would say one of the reasons Kevin Love actually fits on the Cavs. Let's not forget what you mentioned about LeBron is true. He makes any group of guys function better than anyone else would make them function. One of the reasons why Kyrie Irving is actually underrated right now, because a lot of times he's off ball, because that's the way the team.
Kyrie's not underrated.
I think
Kyrie's not underrated.
I think people are sleeping on him a little bit.
No.
The point
we all know how nasty that brother is.
I hope so. I hope so. But the point is, when he's off ball, he's not going to put up the same numbers as a Westbrook or a Harden because the team functions better, LeBron using him the way he uses him. Kevin Love, too. Kevin Love is not perceived the way he was in Minnesota when his numbers were inflated because he's used in specific ways. But his skills translate very well to the way the Cavs run their offense. His outlet passing. He's an elite guy on, for a power forward there. His outside shooting, his rebounding. Those are all things that fit within what the Cavs do perfectly. That's not what Carmelo really does. Yes, Carmelo can shoot, but I wouldn't say he's a sharp shooter from the outside like Kevin Love. He doesn't pass like Kevin Love. He doesn't crash the boards like Kevin Love. Those are all things that are needed on this team. So you're actually losing a lot of the stuff you need to get what you're talking about. And in addition to that, you got to integrate what you're talking about before the playoffs to have a chance. Just pick up a backup point guard.
But once again, I think the point that you're missing, which is why you're going on and on trying to defend your point, is because you're focused on the talents and the skills of Carmelo Anthony. I'm focused on my belief that talent combined with the greatness of LeBron can level. I think it's friendship. I think the fact that they've practiced together in the past. I think the fact that they're so close and they know each other so well, combined with their requisite skills, is something you are sleeping on and underestimating in terms of the quickness with which they can gel. That's all. We're not debating basketball itself from an individual perspective in terms of talent. I agree with every point that you're making. My point to you is that you're underestimating and literally sleeping on the quickness with which they could gel. Well, that's the difference between you and I.
Okay, I would say this. It ain't sexy and big, but go pick up a backup point guard. I mean, that's really what you need to do. You don't need to move heaven and earth. Just get a backup point guard if you're the Cavs.
You need a little more than that. For the Warriors, you need a little more than that.
Yeah, the Clippers might need something, too, because they haven't been able to get past the second round over the last 5 years with Blake Griffin and CP3 together. So the Celtics and Clippers have also been talking about a swap that would send Blake Griffin to Boston, that according to our Zach Lowe. But it does appear to be a long shot. Max.
Yeah.
Do the Clippers have to move Blake?
I can't believe I'm saying this. The answer is yes, they have to move Blake. And he's the guy you would look at that team and say he's the youngest of the elite talent they have. DeAndre Jordan's really good, proud of the progress he made. I know that sounds patronizing, but, he's a second-round project.